Hey friends, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a fun layout to share. I'm working on an album for my son using 49 Market's Rust and Revs collection. I've been wanting to do this for some time now, and so the only way to start is to just grab everything and just start the first layout. So here I am. I'm working on the 6x8 layout for the first entry. And I'm going to go ahead and mount this paper down to the center. I cut this down slightly smaller than 6x8 so that it would be a nice border around the layout. I just like to do that. It just adds a little bit of dimension and depth to the layout. And then I'm going to be playing with the stencil from Stamperia, I believe, and it's a cool design, perfect for little guys like my son. And so I'm going to go ahead and add some ink, starting with the lighter color, and I am just using a brush and going all over the layout. And this is why I chose the pattern that I chose, because I knew I wanted to ink it up and add some shapes to it to make it really pop. And so then I'm going to go a shade darker, and now I'm going to add some blue as well. And these colors were inspiration from the photo that I'm going to be using from Edward when he was at the Bahamas. He and my husband went to the Atlantis. I was so jealous because I couldn't take off work, and I love this photo that my husband took of him. And so it's a cool photo, so I wanted to make a cool layout with it. And then I used a metal die to cut a tag out using one of the pattern papers. And now I thought it would be cool to cut this rotor out, and I'm going to actually use it as an element on the bottom of the layout. And I'm just going to cut it, and then I'm just going to fussy cut between the circles. This was a little tricky because it's kind of hard to do that, but if you have sharp scissors, it works perfectly. And you just need to take the time, but when I'm finished, it's going to look really cool on the bottom of the layout, and it's kind of worth it just to take the time to do something like this. And I'm always trying to fussy cut patterns from pattern papers, shapes and elements, just to make my layout unique and more interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop this on the bottom there. I'm going to trim off the excess, and then I'm going to pop this up using film strips just to add dimension. And I just love the centered background too. It's a grungy layout, and that's exactly what I was aiming for. Okay, and now I'm going to go through and look for embellishments to bring this layout to life. And I had the rug title. I liked that, but it didn't seem like it's going to work. Plus I have the Wonder title from the Stencil, so it's not too much of a big deal if I don't have a title. So I'm just going to move things around and play around first before I mount anything down. And I'm just going through my stash here, finding embellishments that may or may not work. And I'm just moving them around until I'm happy with what I have. Sometimes I don't have the right embellishments, and I just have to keep looking for ways to make it come to life. And so I love this rubber on here. So I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to add some fringe on here. I got the star. I'm going to add the star down here. And I'm looking for something to put in the center there, but I don't really want that chipboard. I want something kind of more brighter, but I'll get there. And I'm just going to apply some layers using rubber ones. And I just like that. It's nice. And then I'm looking through. I really wanted to use a chipboard frame of some sort, but it didn't work. But I did see the star here, and I like that. That's perfect. And I'm just going through to see what I can use. Any little subtitles. But I didn't really have a place that I thought would look good with the chipboard title, so I'm just going to not use it. I love this frame. I've used it on a few other projects that will be going live in November. So be on the lookout for those videos if you are working on a mastering album. And so I like the chipboard here, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that behind the photo. And my thought was, once everything's mounted, I'm going to add some embellishments in the little chipboard frame because I like the design, how that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and mount that down. I'm going to add some rubber just to add something else here. It's not needed really, but it's just my preference. The more the better. And so I'm just applying more rubber and I'm cutting out some that I may or may not use for this layout. And I like the stars, so the good thing with rubber, you can put them on photos, you can scatter them randomly throughout the layout, especially with a layout like this, because the background's already busy. You can just add some more shapes and it's not going to hurt. So I'm going to go ahead and place this down, and I'm going to add some rubber at the top there. This is just fun. I like to have fun with my layouts, and there's no right or wrong way when it comes to scrapbooking. You just do what your little heart desires, and that's exactly what I do. I scrapbook for me. I love scrapbooking. It's my hobby. And I'm done being past the point of worrying about if everything's perfect. The most important thing is enjoy what you're doing. And then I got the rocks in there and the plant because it does go with the theme. I don't know if you've been to Atlantis. I haven't, but I've seen pictures and it looks just like that. There's plants everywhere. It's just beautiful. Hopefully one day I'll get there. My son made it. That's what's important. And then I'm just placing down some embellishments here. I'm going to use the camera. And then I'm looking for something else, like a small title to put somewhere. And I'm going to just stick this in the middle of the photo because I didn't want it to get lost if I put it in a corner at the top there. And then I added some little enamel dots. And I'm going to go ahead and use a foam strip to pop up the camera just to add dimension. And the foam strip was a little less stickier than I thought, so I just glued it. I added glue right onto the foam strip and put it on the layout. And this rubber one is perfect. Go do. And I'm going to put that right in the frame just to fill in that white space. It's just perfect. I like how this looks. I know it's busy, but it's really a cool layout. And it looks like a masculine layout. And then this is a rubber one that I have from a different collection at 49 Market that works. I think it's the Wanderlust. But there's my layout. I love how it turned out. I decided it wasn't completely finished. I felt like it was missing something along the edges of the photo. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and add a tab. And I added ink there in the middle. And then I'm just going to add the rubber one and glue it right along the side of the photo, which helped pull it together, and I love it. This is just perfect. And I hope you were inspired today to try something new, add some ink and stencils on your layouts, and just have fun. Thanks for visiting today. Take care.